Now, when you walk into a crop picture, how can you tell the difference between a real one and a human-made one? If you go into a real one, you'll see these big, thick celery stems are bent over like an iron bar that's been heated and cooled, like that. And that's in oilseed rape. That's in oilseed rape. This is in flax. They're just bent over. There's nothing broken. It's a man standing inside of them. If you go to a fake one, like this beauty here, you'll see the thing's just been crushed everywhere. So it's not a hard thing for that kind of crop to tell what a fake crop picture is. It looks ugly too, you know. And you'll compare them. Here's an oilseed rape, a real one. The wheat stem is bending around. The node's exploding, and this is a fake one. So, okay, it's not that hard, not that hard. Another characteristic, which is Paul Jacobs does, he looks at the crop picture, and from different ways, if you're not there and just see photos, something about the energy short circuits when it goes across a crop-free region or a tram line. So the crop doesn't get flattened with this little space. It's like a wire that doesn't conduct. So if you look at tram lines, as our general rule, the crop is still standing on the tram line because the energy there just shorted out. It didn't push anything down. So you can see these various examples from various crop pictures. And I'll show you a close-up. And this is from last summer, Paul Jacobs' photo. And you see the crops going here. There's a little tram line there with nothing but dirt. And this crop just didn't get forced down. So when you walk in there, you see, just sat there. The force wasn't enough to push it over. The force was finely tuned, and it just didn't. Nobody did that with a rope and a board. And here's another example. I colored it a bit more so you'd see it. Sometimes the crop's energy is tuned to do green versus brown wheat differently. So it might flatten the brown, but the green is a bit stronger and doesn't get flattened. And you see that's what happened here. So the green green plants didn't get flattened. So there's really quite a lot of things here. Here's another one. Though it's late in the year, August, the seed heads will be curved and you can't break them. And it's like a woman combing her hair. They get heated and combed again, and they come just like combing the hair straight, just like you'll straighten your hair with a hot comb. Women do that, don't they? Straighten the hair with a hot comb. You see TV ads all the time. This was Charles Mallet who found that. We see this commonly. This was last summer in Holland, one formed in corn, and then 3 days later, like Jesus, it resurrected again. So it came up again after 3 days. So none of these were made by, so a very large fraction not made by people with rope and boards. I just wanted to get through that, okay? Now, I know this is a bit tedious, but let's look at some real human-made ones that are known to be human-made, and we'll see what they look like. The first one was the Doug and Dave. They told you Doug and Dave made them all, and that's why the media put this everywhere, and then they actually made one, and it was just crap. The whole story was just like crap. The media, like a weapons of mass destruction sort of media story, okay? Just a cover story. And here's National Geographic decided they would prove there were no real crop circles. So they hired some people to make this with this thing here. This big, it's pretty easy, just go around in a circle. This one's a little better by National Geographic. It's just straight lines and the plants are crushed. This is impressive at first sight. They did it in daylight. I mean, it's quite small in daylight. It's only about 30, 40 meters. So that is a National Geographic. And here's another National Geographic. The plants are crushed, and it was done well, but you can see the radial board lines everywhere around it. Obviously, a board just went around everywhere, okay? And there was mud covering it. The people walked and said, just crushed and covered with mud everywhere. If you go to a real one, that even on a wet day, the plants are off the ground, there's no mud anywhere. You can just see someone's been stomping through the whole thing as soon as you walk in. It's often wet in England. And here's Stephen Fry decided he would get in and crush one, and you crush it. And all I'm going to say about Stephen Fry is that QI is IQ spelled backwards. That's my opinion on that. I was there for. And then here, this was done in Australia by Julian Richardson last year. Beef is the answer, and this is quite nicely done. This is the state of the art, the best possible thing which can be done. Beef is the answer advertising campaign last summer here in Australia. Which is nicely done, but it won't match. There's no, it's probably the best that can be done. Okay? Now, typically, this is what a human-made crop picture looks like. Here's the dog. I think that's Sonia over there. I don't know who this is. It looks so bad. That's a question mark. It was a marriage proposal, and they destroy it before anybody can find it. It looks just terrible. So often they'll destroy their work. It looks just too bad. Paul gave me that photo. So the question is for National Geographic, the challenge, there's a crop circle challenge, and they said, look, you want to make one, prove people made it. Why don't you reproduce Milk Hill? This is known to be a known paranormal one, sitting on top of Milk Hill. Circles everywhere. Get your people out to do it. And of course, they always refuse. So if everyone ever tells you humans made it, why can't they do it? Their reason is they would just fail. Maybe all night they would get through maybe one arm. They couldn't ever. That was done in 4 hours in a rainstorm, a driving rainstorm. One of the most famous crop pictures. Okay. Okay. Mariana said humans are so easily duped. Now, who are the circle makers? When you see the word circle maker, it's automatically your antenna should go up. British circle makers. And MI5 advertised on their page for many years. This is legitimate. Want a career in the security services? Go to MI5. And these are the circle makers. British, UK, military intelligence, okay? And that's who they are. So when you see Circle Maker, that's the major one, okay? It's a fake website. They run a whole bunch of fake websites. I know it's disturbing, but I have to show this. Last summer, there was this beautiful crop picture in France, Chartres Cathedral Labyrinth, and everyone thought it was beautiful. And then about a week later, someone posted this one photo and said it's all fake. Well, here's the team made it. I looked at that and says, that looks Photoshopped. So I downloaded it, and some intel agency had actually posted cartoon figures everywhere. It looks like an insect eye. They aren't real. They aren't real. Just posted figures in, pasted it in, covered it up. You can see the thingy. And then just as a debunking thing. And the guy was so poor, he didn't change the metadata. So you go to the end, and if you save from PowerPoint, anybody does this, you know what the size of my PowerPoint slide. When you make a collage, it's just right out of PowerPoint. It's not a real photo. Real photos have totally different metadata than that. And they convinced everyone. People were ready to believe the lie. They were ready to believe it. We're getting past one more debunking, then I'll get into positive things. Let's get on to National Geographic. National Geographic is determined to prove to the American people there are no crop circles. So in 2004, they went to an existing crop picture at night. Here's the reporter, put floodlights, and had people walk through it with rope and ladders pretending they made it. They are. They are out there walking through the existing one near West Kennett Longbarrow pretending they made it, okay? And it's all just fake. It's all just fake. National Geographic. And the next day they made this one, paid some guy, and they told they're all like that. And they had the circle maker, one of the MI5 guys, just stand up there, associated with MI5, and hold the board. So this is National Geographic. So the cover-up here goes fairly deep and extensive. It's a very extensive cover-up, okay?